Trading Nut, episode 195.
And then I just kept repeating this process. I couldn't get it in my head that, you got to stop and just think for a sec. So I just bought about, I think, like 3 of those 5K or 2K accelerated accounts and blew them 3 more times. And then I took a break, went back onto a demo account, then found banks, and then did it again. But the challenge ones, like the evaluation ones. So I started with a 10K evaluation, or a 20K it might have been, with the banks' strategy. And I think I failed once because we had a bit of a losing streak. But the second time we passed it.
The market's going to do something. Your job is not to fight it.
The market never, ever runs away. It's always there.
That personal diary of trading will make you a much better trader than...
I could be right about the direction, but wrong about the trade.
Don't focus on the monetary side.
Trying to make too much money on a trade is what I have seen killed every trader.
Your losses offer you some of the greatest insight you can find into your mistakes.
Relax, learn the process.
Candlestick pattern trading is a freaking trap.
Don't be in a rush to become a millionaire.
Let the market tell you what the market wants to tell you.
This podcast is not financial, trading, or investing advice of any kind. What's up, traders? Welcome to another installment of the Trading Nut podcast. I'm your host, Cam Hawkins, and today we've got a young trader. It goes by the name of CJ on the show, and he is Lord Bank's student. In fact, Lord Bank said to me, you've got to get this guy on. He's 16 years old. He was 16. He's 17 now, and he is absolutely destroying it in the markets with the Lord Bank's technique, and he's funded trader. And he's withdrawn from funding programs, and he's made a lot of money for a 17-year-old already. You guys are going to get to find out how he got started, the struggles, the trials, the tribulations. Very different from the trader Tom interview, where he's been in the industry, gone through the whole gambit, and is trading humongous size, to someone who's starting out, who's young, different view on things than us older folk here. So guys, yeah, it's going to be really insightful, but it is flipping the script on what we've just been through. So just to give you that contrast, okay? We don't want it to be samey here every week on Trading Nut. So the other thing that CJ did, which I found really fascinating, amazing, is he shot a video for us, and it drops on the channel very soon, where he breaks down the Lord Bank strategy and how he trades it. And in fact, this is probably one of the simplest little strategies I've seen. It's so mechanical, one time frame only, and the way CJ explains it, you're really going to get to understand it. Something very easy to replicate from what I can see. Now, if you're looking to automate any of that stuff that you see in that video, and you're thinking, well, this would be great, but I just need a robot to do this, that, and the other thing, then have a look at my Robot Builders Club. I've got a free robot download under the video or in the podcast description, and I teach you guys how to build trading robots without doing any coding at all, using a software called FX Dreamer. Now, if you do want to take that for a spin, we've got, the free robot. There's also the Robot Lab Live, where we are building out a trading robot as part of the membership there. If you guys want to check that out, it's all over there on tradingnut.com. All right, enough from me. Let's hear from our sponsors and then get on with the show. As you'll know, as a trader, one of the biggest issues can be coming up with enough capital to make it worthwhile. Well, the good news is my sponsor, City Traders Imperium, have solved this problem for you. Their day trading and swing trading funding programs mean you can trade between $10,000 and $4 million in capital with up to 100% profit share. Yes, you get everything you make on the account. Plus, the folks at CTI have made it super stress-free, allowing you up to 6 months to pass the funding challenge, which means if life gets in the way, you can park things for a while and stick to your trading plan. To check them out, click the link in the description below or in the card above. All right, folks, here we are on Trading Nut. We've got a 17-year-old trader here, CJ, who is a student from Lord Banks, who was on the show a few weeks ago. So go and check out his episode. He said you got to check out this. He called you a kid who's done extremely well in a very short time after picking trading up and stumbling into Lord Banks. So do you want to walk us through your story here, and then we're going to dive in and get a few insights into the journey?
Yeah, sure thing. So it was around February this year. I was scrolling on TikTok. He just appeared while I was scrolling through my FYP, and he was on his live stream doing some live trading. And I was quite into live trading before because it was just interesting to see how other people traded and managed their trades and all of that jazz. So yeah, I was just scrolling. I just clicked on it, and I just got hooked by, I don't know what it was. It's just kind of how his setup was, how his charts were. I think he was midway through a trade and he was up like 15 pips. And I was like, well, this is pretty cool. So I kept him there, or I kept going in on TikTok for about a week, 2 weeks, waking up every morning like, oh, is he live? Is he not live? And then one live stream, he said, oh, I've got a YouTube, go over to the YouTube and see the whole thing. And I was like, oh, yeah, go on then. We'll go over to the YouTube. Went over to the YouTube. And then, it went from there, really. Started going into his Discord, joined his Discord, commented on all his videos. Went like an absolute newbie, just commenting. Because before that, I had just tried so many different people. And I finally landed on him. And he actually felt like he might change my trading ways.
Cool. And can we just dive, and before we get into the rest of it, can we just dive back into when you very first started and all these other people that you tried and why things weren't working and clicking for you?
So the people that I tried were just the general advertising on TikTok, flashing the cars, flashing the money, trying to sell their courses. And they were just signal providers, but they were absolutely knobheads. You would just click on them. It's all a bot system. There'd be no personal to the signals. It should be bots handing them out. And I just there was no real in live person. It was just a bot, and right. I just kept blowing my accounts with everybody of them.
Right, so you literally go on TikTok. I mean, I don't go on TikTok hardly at all. You go on there and there was a bot saying buy euro US dollar at this price, stop loss here.
So it wasn't TikTok was where I met LB, but it was just Telegram. They would invite you to your Telegram, and it would just be a bot saying buy euro USD.
Right.
Stop loss, take profit, and it was so obvious it was a bot. It'd have the ID and everything.
So at this point, you had no real sort of technical analysis kind of background. You hadn't gone through. So it was as soon as you saw LB, you were like, right, now I've got somebody who's actually doing some charting stuff that seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe I can leave. Okay, cool. So diving into that, I mean, how did that sort of go from learning all this stuff, because this is a very rarity, to getting to the point of even placing your first trade, and how did that journey flow?
So when I started watching him on YouTube, when I was watching him on TikTok, it was more about knowing him and who he was. But on YouTube, when you can see the full screen, I was just hooked by how simple his strategy was. When the candle breaks here, you buy or sell, and it was really simple. So I think I tried it on a demo account first, just because at that point I'd blown so many accounts that I just didn't want to put any more real money into it. So I had a demo account just running, because I felt to myself okay, we need to take a step back and just do it with fake money to master any skills or anything like that. So I started putting his strategy on a demo account, and then we went on a win streak of maybe 4 wins. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's put it on a real account then. And then I started winning on that. And then I found out about funding accounts, started a funding account with strategy, and it all went from there.
Right. Okay. So it seems quite incredible, because I know he pinpointed you out as literally an individual amongst this whole community, and saying I've got a 16-year-old, I think you were 16 at the time, kid who's just absolutely killing it. He's come through and done all my stuff. Now, why do you think it is that you've managed to pick it up, and I guess other people that have been following him haven't gotten to this point? I'm only guessing at this point.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people, they don't have the mindset of, if it doesn't work, what am I going to do? I've hated school since I was when I started secondary school, so maybe 12 or 11. I was I just don't like this. What else can I do? And I've just had the mindset of, okay, if this doesn't work, what are we going to do? There is not another option. I don't want to go anywhere else. So I was like, okay, well, if this doesn't work, we can't do anything, probably going to be homeless. So we just have to try this. And if it doesn't work, we'll have to try it again. So I just kept hitting at it, went into his comments, started asking questions. They were stupid questions, what is this line for? But just kept asking the questions, got the answers, and then started implementing it into my own stuff.
So did you end up doing his course or his program?
His course was released, I think he announced it in April. But by then I'd already got an understanding of his breakout strategy, and I didn't want to change. So I just kept practicing that. And then it got delayed for a month. But by that time I was already doing good. So I haven't even bought his course yet.
So you literally just watched his live streams.
Watch his live streams.
Asked a couple of questions. Yeah. And what was the sort of? Were there any questions in there that you asked that were like just? This is like, oh God, now I know this. This is like just a gem.
Yeah, I mean, it was questions like, what are these lines for? And it was the 2 lines with the range rules.
With the what? Sorry, with the 2 lines with the sorry, what did you say?
You know, when he was doing his like video and he just did the range, like the 2 lines with the range rules, and it broke out. You know, it was just questions like that, or like where to put the take profit.
Right.
You know,
stuff like that. Okay. So I mean, are other people having the same success in this community?
Yeah, I think he's just added somebody into, because like the chat, there's this chat where he started where members can put like setups, and they have to like prove themselves. And I was the only one in it for, I think it's been like a month, but he's just added someone else into the chat, which is he's a really good trader. I think his name's Ben. So yeah, he's So he's getting up there.
Yeah. So what is it with what Lord Banks is doing that made it so easy for you to just pick up and repeat?
Just the simplicity. Like, I see all these other videos on YouTube or TikTok, and it's like, you got to have like 4 indicators, 4 screens, and like 8 charts on each screen. But no, with Banks, it was, you got 1 screen, you got 1 chart, you got 2 lines. And then when it breaks out, you do A, when it does this, you do B. And it was the simplicity which really caught me.
And so I mean, have you sort of struggled with putting it together in any sort of facet at all?
Well, his strategy.
Yeah. Like what you're doing, what you're doing, have you struggled with any facet of it? Has it been just, I can see the setup every single time, there's no sort of like, I suppose, grey areas that you're going, well, is that the setup or not?
Yeah, I mean, for the new people which come in, the reason why he does his live streams is to coach people. Well, not to coach people, but to let them know what he's doing. And he puts all the lines there, so you can visualize it. But I've got to a stage now where I can just see it. Like, I open a chart at the time, so 6 a.m. my time. I just see the range. And yeah, I mean, I can still put it there because it's nice to look at. It makes it nice and simple to look at. But to actually execute, it's got really simple. I know what I'm doing, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
And are you able to just so I'm guessing the range is probably the Asian range, right? Because you're waking up after 8, yeah.
Consolidation.
So you're basically drawing lines across the Asian range, waiting for a breakout, and are you able to then, or have you sort of moved on from that particular approach and tried to trade New York or anything like that, or have you just gone?
Yes. So I joined his. He spoke about it a little bit, but he has like a VIP, like a paid group, and in that group, he live streams. He doesn't do it a lot anymore, but he used to live stream New York session like every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Hopped in there, and again, it was simple. Like, you go on to the 1 minute and then draw trend lines, and then when it breaks out the trend line, you enter. So I've now started picking that up really good, and now I do London session and New York session, those 2 strategies.
Right. Okay. And so, like, I mean, I'm thinking from your point of view, when you sort of look at guys that are out there, struggling to make it work, or even the signals you took and like none of them seem to work. You've come in like with a great gusto of a streak of wins, and you've seen to, you're now able to trade on a higher time frame and then down the 1 minute on a different session. So you've even flipped your strategies. Are you sort of now a bit bemused as to why everyone struggles with this at the age of 17?
No, because it does take a while, and you've got to have, as I said, the right mindset. Like, if you're just kind of there trying to learn but trying to do something else, it's probably not going to work. And a lot of people who aren't getting it have other things to do in their life. They have jobs to go to, and they are busy. Me, I'm a kid who's had just the summer break, so I've just been doing this.
Right.
I've just been putting all my concentration into it, and stuff like that. So I think people are just busy and they're not fully committed to doing it.
So what stuff outside of the actual placing of the trades and watching the market have you been doing to get yourself, I suppose, to the point where every single trade is put on with a handful of confidence?
Just managing, after I place the trade, you've got to know how to manage it. So not get overwhelmed. I just go out of the room sometimes, because I'll go out for a drink or a walk. Because if I sit here and I'm watching it, something might happen and I might just close it. and that's just taking an L. So I don't want to do that. But yeah, I've just been training myself to not overthink it, you know. Like if you sit a trade, it goes into loss, you've got to be trained to go, no, I can't close this in a loss. You've got to wait unless something bad happens. But, you know, you just got to sit on your hands and wait.
So it sounds like you did struggle with some of that stuff earlier on. I mean,
yeah.
was there a point where you were like, I can see it, but I just can't make it happen? And how did you sort of get to that point? I mean, I don't know if you just answered it then, but yeah.
Yeah, so I started actually getting into trading on my birthday in 2021. So before that, I've been trying to do drop shipping. I saw ads on TikTok about drop shipping courses, did some of that, and then went into trading on my birthday because I saw like courses. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like they're making money just by placing a button. You know, so I entered a course and I just kept blowing accounts. I blew about 4 accounts. They were small accounts, but it takes a hit on your mentality. You know, when you blow an account, you're like, oh shit, like what am I going to do? You know, so I just kept blowing accounts, and then, you know, you got to take a step back and think, okay, well, I can't be doing this. So what can I do to fix it?
Yeah. So that first account that you moved on from demo to live, I mean, are you able to talk us through like the size of the account, the risk you put on it, and where you ended up before you went to a funding provider?
Yeah, so the demo was just a standard. I think it was a 10,000 demo. But after I got confident with that, I switched to my live. I think it was like my 5th live account. So I just put I can't remember how I put it, maybe like £200. I think it's like $400. I just, I got the Steno app. That app's pretty good. Risk just 1% a trade. And I just took 10, 15 pips a trade with 1%. I think I was doing maybe a point something lot. It wasn't a lot, but it just built my confidence up. And if I could learn the skill and have good confidence, then I knew about funding accounts at the time. So I could just go straight into a funding account and hopefully pass that, not first time, but within like the first few attempts.
So how many attempts did it take you?
Oh, I mean, I went with my Forex funds. So they have 3 like different account types. They have the accelerated, and then which is the normal one, like the phases, and then they have the accelerated. No, the evaluation, which is the normal one. Then they have the accelerated. So I started with the evaluation. Then I think I failed that the first time, just because I went over the risk or didn't pay attention to it. I remember sitting in assembly at school. And before that, a signal had come in from this bad signal provider. And I put it in on the funded account. And I just had my phone out my pocket, just like looking at like this little, like the lines on the MT4, like kind of graph. But I just going towards the stop loss. And that was my account. That was the first funded account gone.
So hang on, let's stop there. Why did you do that when you were doing so well with the LB stuff? What was the thinking around that?
Well, no, this was before I found Law Bank. This was way before.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay. Right. So you knew about them. Right. So you knew about the funding accounts there.
So I found out about banks this year, 2022.
Right.
February.
Let's talk
in maybe October 2021.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on with those stories then, because I thought it was you only found out about the funding providers after Lord Bank. So yeah, go on. Yeah. Tell us about the next few that you failed, and then we'll dive into the ones you didn't.
So I failed that one. Then I was like, oh, this is like not good. So then I got like annoyed and bought a accelerated, the lowest accelerated one, which was like $2,000. And you take 50% of the profits, 2,000, but you get it straight away. There's no like phases. But with that one, you were allowed like $100 drawdown, which is like, at my stage, I just wanted the money. Like, you know, all I thought about was the money. So I would just think about the money and put like, not risk 1% on this new account and just blow it within like a week, maybe. This like $2,000 account funded, which I paid like $200 for, just blow it again. And then I just kept repeating this process. I couldn't get it in my head that, you got to stop and just think for a sec. So I just bought about, I think, like 3 of those 5K or 2K accelerated accounts and blew them 3 more times. And then I took a break, went back onto a demo account, then found banks, and then did it again. But the challenge ones, like the evaluation ones. So I started with a 10K evaluation, or 20k it might have been, with the Banks' strategy. And I think I failed once because we had a bit of a losing streak, but the second time we passed it. So that was a great feeling.
And so when you say we passed it, were you taking the same trades he was taking, or were you?
Yeah, I was taking I joined his live stream and started taking those.
Okay, so you were taking the live. Okay, so you were basically using his live stream as a signal provider.
Yeah. Gotta say it, yeah.
Okay, much. but now you've got to the point that you're not using his stuff.
Because he does GBP, JPY, and gold, and then I do my own thing with GU and EU. Okay. But I still take them because it's just it's there.
Yeah,
might as well do it.
So I suppose would you have you gone on to take further challenges and pass them, or have you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently on a 100k funded, which I passed a while ago, so I'm just kind of scaling that up really.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And what about your first withdrawal from the funding challenge?
Yeah, first withdrawal. What are we now? September. Probably did it in June around my birthday, 2022. I can't remember how much that was actually. So that was the first one. So you keep 70%. Oh,
but it was significant, or was it
small?
It was pretty small, was it?
It was like for a 100k account. Yeah, it is. I think it was only like a couple $1,000 because I was just taking it really conservative.
It's still yeah, alright. I mean, for a 17-year-old birthday, it's like I made $2,000, and what? How long did it take you to make it in a month or something, or less?
I think it was around the month. Like you had to trade for a month. So yeah, I just traded for a month and made that in that month.
Okay, and can I ask what the maximum you've withdrawn is since then?
The maximum withdrawal. Oh, I think that is. I think I had 2 months ago, so July, or not July, August last month. I think last month, in the final 2 weeks, I didn't withdraw the past 2 weeks because I made a bit. I made I think it was 3,000 or 4,000, but I was like, no, we'll just keep it in there, a bit more, space for leverage. I think I took what was it, around 19 or 20,000.
Seriously. US dollars,
maybe a bit less than that. Maybe that's a bit overreacted. Maybe it's like 17.8 or something.
Okay,
like that.
US dollars.
Yeah, around 15 to 20, I think.
Yeah, US dollars or UK pounds. UK pounds. Okay, so that's 17.
No, that's dollars, isn't it? Because it's dollars.
It's dollars. Okay, yeah. I was going to say
for me, it was around 10,000 or like 11,000.
Yeah,
but that was in dollars, so 17,000.
But it is still pretty ridiculous. And if anyone's
it's still pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was living in the UK, when I would have been 20, I don't know, 21 or something, 22, and I definitely wasn't making that a year. I don't think I was. No, I was probably making. I think I was making. Yeah, when I first got there, maybe not, but later on, I was making about. Let's say it was probably £16,000 a year. Doing I can't remember what job it was. It was a long time ago now, but so that's extremely good for a 17-year-old in 1 month. Bear in mind,
that was
or a month and a half, or however long it took you to build up that amount. Okay, so what lessons have you got to sort of talk the guys who are listening through that? If you had to sort of go, here are the things I took away from my journey to date. These are the top 5 things. What would they be?
The main one just being, keep going at it. You got to get the mindset of no matter what, like no matter what, how many times I blow the account, you just got to go again. And if you don't go again, then you failed. And if you've quit, then that's just like, you've given up. You don't have the strong mental capacity to be able to do this trading. Because you have to fail, you have to blow an account, you have to blow multiple accounts to get the lessons to be able to not blow the accounts. So the main and the pretty much only piece of advice I have is just don't give up, no matter what, go at it again and you'll get it.
What about the 1 minute chart in terms of jumping on there? Because that's a different beast from a 15-minute or whatever 30-minute chart.
Especially you with 30, you go from a Forex pair to a indice.
Yeah. So how did that transition go for you?
Not as bad as I thought, honestly. It was the first session I jumped on New York. It was a bit of news, so we had quite a lot of volatility. But it wasn't, I picked it up. I don't know why I pick it up just quite quickly. I just watched banks do it for the first time. I was like, right, let's try this. And it's really easy, you know, it's not really easy for everyone, but like when you pick it up, it becomes very easy.
Yeah.
You just look at the chart, you know, draw your trend lines, draw your kind of patterns if there are any, and then you just wait. Your patience, just wait.
Then, and how did you, I know patience is something that a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you get over patience? And I mean, I know you talked about leaving the house and stuff for the higher time frame trades, but for a 1 minute trade, you can't really walk away from the house in that session.
Watch some YouTube. You just have it on in the background, the chart, and watch some YouTube. That's what it is. Just put on a video.
And is there a way that you do it so that you prevent yourself from missing the trade opportunity when it appears?
I set alerts on like the lines which I draw, so it will just trigger the alert. Alarm goes off. Whoa, we're here.
Okay, right. And then you're like, okay, now I can stop watching the YouTube.
So now we're in the trade.
Right. So that's actually, so you almost sort of say, I'm trading now, but I'm going to stop even thinking about trading until I get that alert.
I have it on in the background. It's not like I just leave the room, but like I have a video here and it's on the back, so I can see it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I'm not fully paying attention to it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I also send it out to the group, so I have to be kind of alert.
Yeah. Okay. And so the how long are you actually doing it, the New York session for at the screens?
I think yesterday we did it. It was about an hour and really short, actually, an hour and 10 minutes. The New York, London's longer. London's about 4 hours, but yeah, New York's about an hour.
And are there any sort of rules that you have to abide by around, you know, number of trades you're going to take, or, you know, when do you stop and all this sort of stuff?
Yeah. London, I can take, if I win, then we can, you know, you can take more trades. Like if I win like GBP USD, then another opportunity comes up on Euro USD. I would half my risk and still take the trade because it's an opportunity, but I would half the risk. If I lose, then I get another chance. And if I lose that's it for that session. New York is a different beast because it's a US 30 indice. So there's only one chance for that. If you lose, then step away from the chance.
Right. And a question is, so if Mr. Banks disappeared from the internet forever and a day, never came back, what kind of impact would that have on your trading? And if things started to veer off, do you think you've now sort of got to the point where you don't actually need Lord Banks live streams in your life and his advice?
I don't need it. I mean, they're nice to have background kind of background stuff on. But I there's been multiple times where he's either slept in past this alarm, and it doesn't bother me really slightly. So I just do it by myself, put on some music and go.
Yeah, and I suppose the fact that you're running this Telegram chat as well and posting the trades, he's obviously not there doing it for you.
It's sometimes like he's out at the minute, but I think today he's not online. So I think we have to manage it ourselves today.
Awesome. Now, if you had to look at the stats that you've had across the course of maybe, let's say, the last 3 months, I mean, how do they look from a number of trades, winning percentage, and I don't know if people here remember the risk to rewards that Lord Banks did, which was like a take some at 1R, then 2R, and then 3R kind of thing? Or have a run?
I haven't calculated that for a while, actually, but I think on average we take maybe 3 trades a day, combined London and New York session. So 3 trades a day, probably all week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, those are the days that we trade. But I think in a week we win most of it. So if we take like 9 trades a week, we probably are going to win 7 of them.
Right. Yeah, because he did have this thing where on that live stream he did for us, where it's like, I think he took the first trade, won it, and I think it was a break even after the first take profit, and then the second, he actually picked a second trade but didn't take it, and said something like, he might have said something along the lines of, my rule is 1 trade only, and that's it. And the second trade went on to be even better than the first, but he's done as 1, so he was done.
That's happened a few times where we miss it, like because he's really rule based. You know, if it doesn't happen exactly to a T, we won't take it. Like yesterday, we had one, and it broke. I think it might have been yesterday, might have not. It broke, but it didn't have a bottom wick, so we didn't take it, and it just would have hit like all take profits.
And so I mean, now you've got this freedom on your own. You can see what he's doing. You know what to do. You know what he's done, which is successful. what's stopping you from doing things like over trading, like breaking that rule and taking a second trade? What's stopping you personally from doing that now that you could be free to do things? Because I think this is something that a lot of people, this is the thing people struggle with, right? This is how you do it, and people don't do it.
The future, like if I lose what I have, then it's not looking good for the future. So I have that kind of thing of, okay, well, if we don't stick to this, it's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, we took a trade on GU and it pipped out by 0.8 of a pip and it stopped us out. Then it went up to hit take profit one. And I got, you just got to breathe in and walk out the room.
Yeah. So you're like the fear and the pain you have of not making this work is greater than a lot of...
that is what is like stopping me from doing anything stupid.
Yeah. So a lot of other people don't have this level of, I suppose, emotional connection to trading not working. It's like, well, if trading doesn't work, I'll just go back to my day job, or I'll just just work for the rest of my life, or I'll do this other business or whatever it is. Okay, but that is the key difference. Is you are like, it's this or I'm out on the streets.
At the moment it's that. Obviously in the future I want to open businesses and all of that, but just now I want to master this skill completely, and then we can move on to other things.
And now look, as somebody who's at school, and I know you're about to start school again come next week. How the hell are you going to manage this in your school, with your school work and life?
I don't know, honestly. I only take 2 subjects. So I think I have 3 periods. I think I've maybe got 2 a day. But it's really the timings, I think I leave here around 8 or 7:45. So I can catch a bit of London, then maybe do it on the train to school, and then at school, I got to make it work.
And if you had to sort of quickly describe the overall strategy that you put in place for the London session, can you do that in a sort of short one sentence?
So it's just very simple. Just, mark out your ranges, mark out your zones, your support and resistance levels, and wait for a break. That's how I would describe it. And
so if somebody were to go away and do that, what would be something that would catch them out? Because it does sound very simple, right? And I swear I've built a robot that does that, and for whatever reason it didn't work. But what's the sort of thing that's gonna screw someone up there?
Not having the patience. Like, you will wait, because the main thing about that strategy is candle closure. You have to wait for the candle to close above the range. We've seen people do it live, like on the live stream, someone comments saying, oh, I got in here, but I've been stopped out. And that's because the candle's gone up above the range.
Right.
They've taken a buy or a sell, and it's just dropped back down. And then you've been stopped out.
And what about the fake outs that happen there? How is that something you have to deal with? Is that something you have to deal with?
Yes. It hasn't happened last month as much as I thought it would, but there's been a couple of times, it just breaks out and then just straight back in. But it doesn't interfere with the win ratio. If it happens once out of the 10 times, then that's still pretty good.
And around like the fact that you're taking these partial exits, and that sometimes price is going on and shooting past where you got out, and you've now got half a position left or 3/4 of a position or whatever. How do you, from your point of view, to think, there's extra money on the table? What was the thing back in the day? Because now I suppose you've made, you've taken away £10,000 out of the market. You're probably thinking, well, it doesn't really matter because this thing works, right? I know I'm going to, if I can take 10 grand away, I don't need to worry about it. But before that, was that ever a concern of yours, or ever a thought that you were taking a partial and what if I kept it? What if?
Yeah. No, that went through my mind all the time. It's always more, greed.
Yeah.
But I got to the point where I was like, right, the main target is to not lose money. Like, if you don't lose money, then you've won. And I knew that if I left it on the table, there was a potential to lose money. And if it's got to a point where I can take money and then not lose it, then I don't know why I would keep holding it. I've done that before and it hasn't worked. So I've taken the lessons and redone it.
Okay, so did you feel some pain at that point where it didn't work, and that was the sort of
hell yeah.
trigger?
The pain was immense. It was like when something doesn't work, especially in this market. It was one of my small accounts like back in 2021. I just blew it, and I was like, "This isn't going to work. Like, how can I fix it?" But yeah, it's just like you have to think about it. Just take a step back and just watch other people work. Like I took a step back, watched banks live for about a week and not trading, and I just focused, wrote some notes. Went back and watched more live streams, and I fixed the problems.
Now, if you had to sort of say to somebody who was going to go down the same route and go, right, I'm going to go and follow yourself or Lord Banks and just do what they're going to do because it seems to be working. I mean, what kind of advice would you give to them if they were going to do it? What's the sort of top advice you'd say?
Take your time. Don't rush in and put your whole account on the first trade he does on his live streams. You got to start small, jump into the live streams, and don't even trade for the first live stream. Just watch how he works. Watch how what he talks about and what he does, and just watch how he doesn't waste time. Not waste time. Doesn't jump into trade which he doesn't have to be. He's got the patience, and you just can watch that, and then after you've watched that one, watch another one. And join his communities. He's got Discord, Telegram, all of that, and you can ask questions in those, and you will get the answers that you need from those. Some of the traders who've been on the show, should I say, some of them have elaborate sort of preparation before they approach the market. Have you got anything like that? No, I wake up quite early for my age, 5:30, I think it was this morning. Have a shower, do all you need to do, grab a coffee, and then sit down. And then, put on maybe some music and just watch, do your morning analysis, get it done, and then just wait. Cool. And do you think that there's something sort of around, being a bit younger, being a teenager, and getting into trading that helps over and above someone who's a bit more a bit older, they're late 20s, 30s, or they've got a bit of money behind them now because they've sort of thought, they've been working for a bit, and then they decide to get into trading. Can you sort of see, and it's probably a difficult one to answer because you're only 17, but can you see any benefits of being your age from a mindset point of view and having that sort of mind that's still developing? Yeah. Well, I think there's two things, when you're my age, you've got more time. But my age and younger, you're all influenced by social media and all these Instagram posts, TikTok posts, and there's a bunch of them just on TikTok and Instagram of just all these motivational content and just people putting loud music in clips of just supercars flying by, and you can just get motivated by that at my age because you have all these things, and then you can take it to trading. Whereas if you're a bit older, you have the money to start with a bit more capital by yourself, but you're probably not around all of this influence and all of that. Okay, so you're sort of saying maybe there's less motivation for older people because they're just not seeing what's possible. I mean, my TikTok For You page is flooded with it, people just saying, you got to work or it's not going to happen. On a mad video, and people who are older, they probably don't have TikTok. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. So sort of what you're saying is if you're a bit older and you haven't been jumping on the social media, or you're not on Instagram every day, you're not you're probably more stuck in the rat race than your typical teenager or early 21, 22, whatever, who is seeing that and going, well, there's actually more to life than potentially just working for the man and having a 9-to-5 job. I could do all these other things. One of my friend's parents, I showed him a chart and he was like, oh, what is that? It's just boredom, there's lines on the screen, But when you see all these people making money, you want to make money. I have a mindset of wow, if these people can do it, then I can do it. Yeah. Awesome. Hey, look, we're going to jump into a quick fire round here and then wrap up the show. So
This question I'm liking the look of. How long did it take you to go from trading newbie to consistently profitable?
Probably 8 months.
8 months.
I started in June 2021, and then it's now, it was March this year. So yeah, probably around 9 months maybe.
What's your favourite, the London session, sort of like higher time frame kind of stuff, or the 1 minute charts?
It's a good one. I think I like the New York better.
Right.
Yeah, it gives there's a chance like every trade or every time I go on there, there's something to happen. Sometimes London you get nothing. It's quite boring.
Do you have a recommended trading book or any other kind of resource?
I think Banks mentioned it. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. I've read that a few times. That's a good one. It's just all about psychology. There's nothing about technical analysis. It's just all psychology.
And what's your biggest takeaway from that book? Because I'm listening to it at the moment again for like probably the third time.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is, you just gotta keep going at it. I think there's something in there which is about like if you can do it a single time, you can do it multiple times or something like that. And you just got to keep going at it. Like you can't give up.
Yeah, and that's a bit of advice that a lot of guests give. What about your preferred broker and trading platform?
Vantage FX I use for brokerage, but that's my personal account. Obviously, my funded account's controlled by FTMO.
Hey folks, ever wonder what broker I use? Well, I use Hanko Trade. It was a no-brainer because I was looking for a broker with good trading conditions and one that wouldn't restrict my leverage. Now, by joining Hanko Trade, I've also cut down my trading costs significantly with their super low commission of just $1 per 100K. You can learn more at hankotrade.com or just click the link I've put in the description. And what about the platform? What platform are you trading through? Trading software?
MetaTrader. Yeah, MetaTrader.
And do you want to walk us through your worst ever trade?
Worst ever trade, probably, was it USV? No, I don't think it was. I think it was like when it wasn't when I first started in June. It was like maybe August 2021. And I was just like playing around with the charts. I think it was some like just random pair, like Australian dollar, USD, Australian USD. And I just placed a bar on it, and I didn't realise that I put like a max out my lot size. And I was like, oh yeah, we'll just let that run with no take profit, no stop loss. Walked out of the room. I think I went to play to the park actually to play football. And yeah, I just blew the account on that trade.
Okay, brilliant. Well, not brilliant, but thank you for answering the question. Now, what about, is there anything else I haven't asked you today that I should have asked that you think, yeah, this is probably something that would be quite cool to tell the guys? I
don't think so. I think I've told most of the fun stories which I've had actually.
Anything from school that where you got caught out or anything like that?
There was a time where I was in, I think it was a maths class. I was just like writing down equations, and because we got given school iPads, and they didn't block TradingView, which is great. So I had TradingView up, and then I had my phone open trying to watch this because I got to school at like 8:30 when London session was still happening, so there was still a chance. And I started to trade this, and I think it was like GU. And we were in like profit 5 pips, and then this maths teacher just came storming over, just slapped down the iPad. I was like, "What are you doing?" Then I had to quickly just swipe the position open and just close it.
Oh, jeez. Brilliant. Well, hey, look.
That was probably the best one.
Cool. Well, look, before we wrap up, what's the best way for people to get hold of you?
I have Instagram. That's pretty much the only way, actually. I have Discord as well. If you join the community, you'll see me on there. And Telegram.
Superb. Well, look, a big thank you to CJ for sharing with us today. Everything we've discussed here, along with those links, are in the show notes. To find them, simply search for CJ in the search box on tradingnut.com. Until next time, wish all my listeners trading happiness and success. All right, folks, there you have it. Interview done and dusted with CJ. Very different contrast from Trader Tom, who's been in the industry for years, but hopefully that gave you guys that sort of, yin and yang kind of experience there from the start to the end. We just like to sort of keep things mixed up here in Trading Nut. Now, other things to tell you about. So the video that we shot with CJ, got to go and check that out, right? So it's on the YouTube channel. And it is a very mechanical way of trading. It is a simple strategy to follow, only one time frame. So if you're looking for something to sink your teeth into, grab hold of, then definitely go and check out this video, and then you know where to go after that. Links under that to the rest of CJ's stuff and Lord Bank's stuff. Other things here, talking about mechanical strategies. If you are looking to automate some or all of what you do it. Go and check out the free trading robot. Links under the video or podcast description or on tradingnut.com. The Robot Lab Live, the Robot Builders Club. There's also the Robot Lab in there as well. Go and check all that out over there on Trading Nut, where I teach you guys how to build trading robots from scratch without doing any coding at all. So whatever you dream up, you can pretty much go in there and turn into an automated, fully automated or semi-automated trading strategy. All right, enough from me. Let's wrap up here, and we'll see you in the next one.